LASIK is here? Hey, fuck off. What's that? No,
I don't really have a bad word to say about Rat either.
Can somebody get Rat a beer, please? They don't have any here.
Actually, could you get everybody a beer that's on the stage here and put it on Rat's bill?
All right, I ain't gonna say it.
They probably owe you, Rat. I've known Rat for a long time. Probably met him in the 80s, but I really got to be friends with Rat in the early 90s. Oddly enough, when the Holy Terrors were recording, my band was recording at the same time, and he had a studio on Lincoln Road, and then it moved over to Tobacco Road, and we sort of went through the same thing, you know?
Yes.
Where we had to like record one place, mix in the other place. I got to meet those dudes. I got to meet Hosker and all that stuff at that time. And a few years later, Dan and I had decided we wanted to ride bikes from Rat's place to Key Biscayne and back. And Rat was in the middle of still working for the airlines, and we had some really good marijuana brownies. And so we get over to Key Biscayne, and Rat's like, you know, fuck it, you know, what are they gonna drug test me and like, you ate brownies? You know, like that's gonna be like some trouble or whatever. Well, you know, we eat those brownies and that bridge is giant coming over Key Biscayne, and Rat gets rubber legs like coming over the bridge, like, what the fuck did you guys do to me? You know? We get on over, and then he gets rubber brain when we go over to Miami Beach. He's like, what the fuck did you guys do to me? You know? And it took me like...
I have 2 brownies.
Yeah, he ate more than any of us, because, you know, when you're not doing weed, you're thinking, oh, I can eat a brownie or whatever. Well, it took like 20 more years before I could smoke some pot with Rat, and now I'm happy that he's retired. I've known Rat before he had the hat and the sunglasses. But when the sunglasses came in, there was a period where, like, one of the things that Rat's been great about is introducing me to all these great people, from Thurston Moore to, I mean, the guys in the Holy Terrors and all that stuff. Well, he turned me on to Guided by Voices. So, he would, every Christmas, he'd give you this CD that's like, this is my fucking Christmas CD, and it would be all these cool, obscure Guided by Voices songs, and you'd be like, wow, this is the greatest shit ever, but what is it? And then one day he's like, well, you've never seen them live, you know? So we all went on this road trip, and it was Will, Trev, and Alex Diaz, myself, and Rat, and Tina refers to it as the deer hunter trip, you know? So we had a couple of dates, and I pussied out. We could have done 3 dates, but I wanted to get back home. And we did Orlando and Gainesville, and Rat had just got the sunglasses. And we were traveling between Orlando and Gainesville, and it was the middle of the night, and we got to the end of the turnpike where it was like, where they still had toll plazas, and there were like 20 toll plazas. So we go through, and we're way to the right, and Rat's got those glasses on when we fucking haul ass out of there, and he's going straight for the woods, you know, not even close to where we have to narrow in. And he finally peels those glasses down, pulls us over there, and again, you know, he's a hero. So, a few other things. We nailed him once with his retirement party when he finally retired. And we set him up at Churchill's, and there were a bunch of us there. And my favorite part of that was right when he came in the door, I made Nicky play Metal Machine music by Lou Reed. So, like, this would be the soundtrack to Rat, you know? I mean, it's Metal Machine music. Dave Daniels got so pissed off. He's like, everyone's gonna fucking leave right now. And it's like, don't worry, these are Rat's people. Got a couple more things. Rat's guitar style playing, to me, are 2 of his heroes. And he probably thinks they're 2 different people. But to me, it's a little Joe Walsh, you know, or some of that. And then a little Neil Young. But what amazes me with Rat is that when he does something other than the guitar, he played the saxophone on the Beast and Baker without a reed in the saxophone. He played a beer can once and like crinkled it and like played like a bow on the inside, and it was fucking fantastic. But I think like the coolest thing Rad ever did was Quintron had built this little village in New Orleans, and he had like tricked out all these buildings, and they were musical instruments, and he picked like his 8 favorite musicians, and it was Andrew W.K. and someone who worked with Laurie Anderson and someone who worked with Philip Glass, and of course Rat Bastard, because who could play a building better than Rat?